Forget P's and Q's. We're talking P's and C's. Good morning, team. Thanks for checking in for the Next Kilograms Kilometers podcast. And today, sometimes you just got to laugh at yourself because probably nobody else is laughing. But anyway, what are some pros and cons around some of the different exercises? Some conversations recently, there's been negative impressions about different exercises. Don't squat because it's bad for your knees. Don't bench press because it's bad for your shoulders. Blah blah. Those types of things. Well, obviously there's positives and negatives to all exercises, and of course, so much of that depends upon whatever variation of the exercise that we're using, and more importantly, just how we execute that. So, sticking with it today in terms of barbell squat, and that's a very general term, but more specifically back and front squat. Obviously, we talked last week about progressions, but pros and cons of a barbell squat. The cons are what could be some negative connotations is that it's a vertical load on the spine, right? So especially if it's a traditional back squat, whether it's a high bar or low bar, whether the bar's up on your traps or down onto your more onto your delts and on your shoulders, that puts a lot of vertical pressure, vertical load, or compression on the spine. Good example of that, of course, this is a very, very extreme, is that an elite powerlifter, was doing close to their max, upwards of 900 pounds, maybe 1,000. After they did their maximum attempt, when they measured, they had actually shrunk like half an inch or something like that because of that compression in the spine. Now, that's a major extreme, right? For folks like ourselves who are competing in athletics and everything else, we're probably not pushing our strength attempts to that level, all right? But that's the type of vertical tension or vertical pressure that we're talking about. So that is seen as a con in some ways. Again, if it's done appropriately, which is why sometimes we go to a front squat, why you might use a belt squat, or just holding dumbbells. So you're doing, dumbbell squats or even dumbbell single leg squats or Bulgarians, rear foot elevated squats. All right, that's where it can change that load. So, and then of course the pros of it, very, very few other ways to get lower body strength. Knee dominant, develop the eccentric, the deceleration phase, controlling it on the way down, but the explosiveness driving up, and vertical strength, vertical power, i.e. transferring over to a vertical jump or, a jump of any vertical direction, whether it's going for a rebound or something of that nature. So anyway, a little bit longer than I intended, but pros and cons, we'll go through a few other exercises as the week goes on. But if you have any other questions about that, about how to minimize or how to mitigate some of those pros or cons, then hit us up and let us know. universalsportstrength@gmail.com. Look forward to hearing from you, brainstorming, helping out. Let's kick off this week on a strong note, on a fast note. And for those who have spring season getting ready to kick off, right, let's make sure that we're fully prepped and primed for the competitions to come. Let's have a great week, and let's keep working.